What's up, dear gear nerds? This is my 10-second shilling bit. Subscribe, like, comment and join the Patreon tribe to help me make these videos. That's it, here comes the kit.
Hi, I'm Matthias, I'm with Icebug and I'm going to present you some highlights here at ISPO 2020. We're going to show you some products which we're going to launch in the next winter season. And one product we are particularly proud of is our model Adak. The Adak is an Icebug shoe, so traditionally we've been famous for having spike shoes. And we have our own technology which is called bug grip. So actually the spike reacts a bit on the underground. So you can walk on the ice, but as well you can walk on asphalt or something like that without damaging the spike or without feeling uncomfortable. By now though, we changed the philosophy of our company, so we are actually offering as well other soles, like this one is a cooperation with Michelin. We always kind of like make really sure that it's about the traction, about the specific traction for the condition. But we started 5 or 6 years ago to actually put #1 in our company vision to be a sustainable company and to be the leader in sustainable footwear. And footwear is a complicated product in general, so that makes it actually tricky because you have so many different components. So it's not actually easy, and the word sustainability is always tricky because sometimes people launch one shoe and have a big collection, and then they pick the one shoe and say like, oh, we're very proud that we use a material that helps on this specific upper. But we really need to make a bigger impact, so we as a brand are climate positive, so we make sure that we actually we reduce the emissions every year, and we overcompensate 200% for whatever we put out via our production, shipment, logistics, everything. If we look then at the shoe as well, we said we need to really redesign everything. We can't just pick single elements. So if we take now the Adak here as one of our design highlights, then this is a shoe. We have an outsole which we can have partly recycled, so at least we have those white dots. They are not impurities, or they are impurities, but we accept that because this allows us to reuse some recycled rubber. It's not consumer waste, but it's out of other productions where we can actually reuse like production waste. If we look at the middle of the shoe, this one is now it's always an EVA, and EVA is actually a tricky element because there's no end-of-life solution for it. So we try to reduce the amount of EVA we use. We still need it because that makes the shoe comfortable, that gives it the cushioning properties, but we can use some bloom foam in it. So bloom is actually an algae, and the algae itself, it seems to be like very aggressive, so it overgrows quite often lakes. So this can be harvested, so it helps to create more fresh water. So you actually run it through the machine, and at the end the machine puts the fresh water back into the lake, and you use the foam itself, or it's kind of sludge, and the sludge actually can become pellets, and those pellets you can afterwards integrate into the shoe. If we go further, like we have a leather that actually is called Dry Tan by Echo. It's actually a competitor, kind of another footwear brand that has their own tanneries. So they actually have a leather that needs less chemicals and less water. So this is so good that we actually say we can purchase that via them and have this leather upper. If we look at the upper shaft here, that's from our friends from Woolpower. Woolpower is mainly a clothing company, and when they produce clothing, there are a lot of little fabric elements which can't be reused or haven't been reused historically. So we said actually we can upcycle that, so we create new material. Sometimes we have as well some color dots in it, some impurities, but again we accept that. We think it's a really good properties with the wool. It's mainly wool, so it gives you warm, it's water repellent. So it's a really nice product, a really nice fabric to put on a product like that. And the element within it is a membrane which is called bug dry, and this is as well partly recycled and PTFE-free membrane. And even if you look at the details, then if you look at little elements which are still out of plastics, then we make sure that they are all recycled PET. And as well the coloring process, we actually use something which is called solution dye. So in a way you pre-color already the materials, and that means that you don't need to bath at the end the fabrics to get the coloring. So the last thing about this shoe now, just to give you the really full picture, is that I talk about elements you never see on the shoe normally. You sometimes see the lining. The lining is as well, in this case, the wool power element, but there are actually things called backings. The backings are in the front and in the back of the shoe. They give you the stability. They make sure that the shoe is more rigid. This is particularly important, obviously, on a shoe that you use as well for hiking and outdoor adventures. And on those as well, they historically have always been like plastics, and because you need them more rigid than classical POT stuff. So what we found there is a partner which is called Milgard. And Milgard is actually made out of old fishing nets. So they get recycled, and it's up to 60-70%, which can be made. And because it's so tear resistant and like really strong at the end, you can reuse this material to make a backing to really have the best properties actually you can have for the backing element of the shoe. So you will never see it, but it's still good to see that we in a way challenge the design and the production of a shoe on every angle we can. And then we can as well create that and resync and make a really durable product that's really going to be amazing when it hits the market next fall.